Hi everyone, it's great to be here at Geotab Connect 2024. I hope you're all having a fantastic experience. Today I'm going to talk about how your fleet maintenance and overall fleet operations benefit from real-time sensor data, particularly in the context of something that matters greatly to any fleet, increasing the lifetime value of your vehicles. My name is Esteban Contreras. I'm the VP of Product at Fleetio, where I lead our product management, product design, and product marketing teams. We call this collection of teams our product org. And we are responsible for answering at least 3 questions. What should we build to best serve our customers and solve their problems? How should they experience our solutions as users? And how do we take this to market in a way that resonates with them? Now, for those of you who are wondering what Fleetio is, I'm very glad you asked. We at Fleetio offer mission-critical SaaS solutions for fleet maintenance. Our company started in January 2012 in Birmingham, Alabama, and today we have team members working from coast to coast in North America, serving customers in 100 countries all over the world. Thousands of people use Fleetio to manage hundreds of thousands of vehicles, equipment, parts, drivers, and more. Over the years, we've worked with fleets of all sizes across many industries, and our mission remains the same. We help companies track, analyze, and improve their fleet operations. Our solution is cloud-based and available through your web browser, as well as on the go with our iOS and Android apps for team members like drivers and technicians. In the decade that we have been digitizing fleet management, if I may say so myself, we have fundamentally changed how fleet maintenance is performed. Our customers use our software as a single source of truth to view all their fleet assets, maintenance programs, and related costs. And one of the things that Fleetio helps our customers do is something that is very important. We enable them to better plan for the future. Planning for the future is essential in our rapidly changing world. The past few years have reminded us that change is the only constant. It's amazing just how much our society and our economy have gone through in just a few years. We've all experienced it in our personal lives, and most, if not all, industries have gone through a series of shockwaves. Businesses with fleets have struggled with everything from vehicle shortages to workforce challenges. We're in a volatile workforce economic environment. Costs are going up, higher costs to acquire, to lease, to service vehicles, and higher costs to replace parts. Beyond inflationary pressures, there's reduced predictability thanks to changes in interest rates, regulations, and the supply chain. The great news is that fleets have continued to demonstrate grit and perseverance through all this change at a global and at a local level. Meanwhile, we've all seen acceleration of technological breakthroughs reaching scale and maturity in recent years. We're in an increasingly connected world. On one hand, this introduces complexity. On the other hand, this presents solutions to hard problems. Digital transformation in businesses all over the world has led to improvements in operational excellence and customer experiences. As consumers, our expectation is that we all want to get our goods and our services in a way that is personalized and automated and instantaneous. B2B and B2C companies are more and more looking to cost-effective and powerful technology to help them run their businesses and to help them satisfy their customers. It seems we're only getting started seeing the delivery and the impact of the promise of technologies that we've been hearing about for many years. Technologies like cloud, software as a service, big data, machine learning, data science, and artificial intelligence. The sensors, data, and computers found in the vehicles that we drive and that we manage are not necessarily new, but they have gotten much more advanced. Features that used to be in luxury models are now becoming more standard, such as automated route planning, traffic redirection, and adaptive cruise control. Next year, in 2025, we will not be flying cars anywhere. But even though that future hasn't happened yet, it is estimated that 350 million vehicles on the road globally will have over-the-air update capabilities. It is also estimated that about 25% of the new vehicles sold in 2025 will have built-in 5G connectivity. With the rise of connected vehicles, we have also seen the rise of new sensor capabilities. And the use cases are not trivial. We can remotely monitor all kinds of things, from batteries and tire pressure to performance and safety metrics. Providers like our partner Geotab, and shout out to Geotab, have tapped into sensor data and surfaced this information beyond their driver behavior and telematics data. As this data becomes more accessible, fleets are tapping into it to better understand their vehicles at any given moment in time. At Fleetio, we are continuously exploring innovations around preventive and predictive maintenance. We started building our first sensor data capabilities not too long ago, just 18 months ago, in 2022. We now average over 16 million sensor readings an hour from connected vehicles using Fleetio. Today, I want to share some stories, some examples, some insights we have learned as we've been diving deeper into sensor data. And I'll try to keep them relevant to 3 topics that may be top of mind for fleets in 2024. Firstly, how real-time data benefits fleets. Secondly, how sensor data is starting to play a big role in the maintenance process. And thirdly, how new technologies, such as those surfaced by electric vehicles, have expedited advancements around sensor data. One of the biggest advantages of sensor data is that vehicles are constantly transmitting data. Tapping into that data means you can see diagnostic information and vehicle information live across your whole fleet. On Fleetio, we surface hundreds of sensor data points, and this is leveraged by our customers as valuable information such as whether a seatbelt is on or off, the ignition status, fuel level, tire pressure, outside temperature, average fuel economy, dash warning lights, coolant level, and of course, battery voltage. Knowing battery voltage in the right place at the right time can have an impact. For example, one of our customers is a state agency that regulates the oil and gas industry. Their fleet includes off-road vehicles out in the middle of nowhere, doing all kinds of inspections and site visits. We're talking crews of 1 in hundreds of vehicles that are ready for all kinds of terrain and weather. They started using Fleetio to digitize their fleet maintenance and operations, capturing information, content, and transactions with a great deal of detail. This is now transforming how that agency manages their fleet, starting with no need for paperwork anymore. So they've ditched the pen and paper, the spreadsheets, the outdated software. Fleetio brings in all their fleet data together, including sensor data. Team members like fleet managers are now adding incremental value in ways that may not have been possible in the past, including just-in-time risk management. They can now leverage historical data, vehicle information, and sensor data to identify risks. A big moment for the agency's fleet manager was when he realized he was able to identify low battery voltages while using the Fleetio system. And that's exactly what he did. Right before one of the drivers continued on a trip further down to the middle of nowhere. Using Fleetio Go, our mobile app, the fleet manager tagged the driver in a quick comment that the voltage looked low. And it made all the difference. Their technicians now leverage that sensor data into their workflow to triage and diagnose vehicle issues remotely. And with Fleetio Marketplace, our customers can find a shop nearby and seamlessly pay for any service needed. Over time, there's a huge benefit to productivity. You can save time, your team members will become more in trust with each other, everyone remains safe, you avoid these costly repairs that would have happened otherwise, and with less downtime, at the end of the day, less worries. When it comes to maximizing the life cycle of vehicles, there are 2 factors that are consistent. One is telematics, And if you're using Geotab in your fleet, you're covered there. That's great news. The other is implementing an effective preventative maintenance strategy. Planning ahead and completing maintenance before it becomes overdue will keep your vehicles running smoothly and avoiding breakdowns. By bringing Fleetio and Geotab together, we help our customers avoid emergencies, gain excellent audit trail of repairs, and even help them track the sweet spot to sell a vehicle. This maximizes the lifetime value of your assets. And it helps you ensure the value of your scheduled maintenance. That's where utilization and sensor data can come into play. Even basic sensor notifications like a tire pressure warning can surface hard-to-find vehicle issues. Early detection of minor vehicle issues can prevent major breakdowns later on. Here's a recent real-world scenario that we heard from another Fleetio customer. A technician who was working in-house for a logistics company kept seeing a low tire pressure warning on the sensor data chart. He let the fleet manager know, and it turns out the driver confirmed the tire pressure light had been on for months. But the tire pressure was just fine, so the driver just let the light stay on. The technician got the car in and found a faulty tire pressure sensor, which he then replaced. Persistent warning lights can mask a developing problem. So this technician was able to spot something, get ahead of what could have been an incident. Sensors can help technicians identify the root causes of issues discovered during routine maintenance. In another case from a Fleetio customer, a fleet was prepping a vehicle to reassign it to a new driver. The technician team was creating a work order and they noticed a low battery voltage. The vehicle had been recently driven, so a technician cross-referenced the battery voltage with engine RPMs. They were able to determine that the alternator was going bad and replaced it before assigning the vehicle. Depending on the experience level of the new driver, it could have been a really bad problem. You don't want the new driver or anyone really dealing with a vehicle that has issue, that's maybe stalling suddenly or smelling something burning. In addition to driver safety, which is so important, they avoided what could have been additional downtime and the need for a temporary vehicle, plus any additional work that might have resulted from the alternator failing. So the faster that a fleet is able to diagnose these kinds of issues, the more they can minimize downtime. Something that has become very important for us here at Fleetio is to ensure that we provide information in context. It's not simply about providing data and making it available in a system. It's important that we help answer questions like, so what? And now what? We provide much more meaningful context by connecting information from interrelated sources, including sensor data and vehicle history. This is especially essential for fleets that do at least some of their maintenance in-house. Diagnostic vehicle data needs to be captured and stored alongside vehicle issues and historical maintenance. If sensor data is disconnected from the rest of their vehicle history and information, then it results in an incomplete maintenance picture. With the goal of providing a more complete maintenance picture, our team at Fleetio has been hard at work. I'm excited to share that just a couple of weeks ago, we released a new feature that links sensor data with issues. We call it Sensor Snapshots. Sensor Snapshots makes it easy for users like technicians, fleet managers, and operators to identify potential issues from sensor data. And it helps create issues to investigate and resolve the potential issue. Not only that, but it also provides a thorough audit trail of asset maintenance and issues, ultimately helping fleets track the real-time health of their assets. Sensor data in Fleetio brings a whole new level of fleet diagnostics front and center. Our users can now take one or multiple snapshots of any selected sensor data and attach it, along with an optional note to new or existing issues. This sensor data snapshot will become available throughout the issue's lifecycle. The goal is to connect the contextual data from vehicle sensors to the issues being created, even before they're assigned for work, improving the efficiency of the issue resolution process. I want to give you a sense of how these sensor snapshots work. In our Fleetio application, you are able to see the oil pressure for the vehicles in your fleet. Let's say that you notice that you have one of these vehicles with a meaningful change in oil pressure. So you click into that vehicle and see that, yes, the oil pressure is definitely looking low. On Fleetio, we have a sensor data chart where you can get more information. So in that sensor chart, you can see the oil pressure for the past few days. Once you select oil pressure as a sensor you want to look at, it will show you what's been happening. You may see a few dips. You can zoom in on the time frame where it seems to spike and drop. And once you zero in on an area that you're looking for, you can capture a snapshot. It's kind of like taking a photo or a screenshot or a slice. So now you have this snapshot of the data that you zoomed in on. And you can add a description note, like, for example, something along the lines of oil pressure dropped. Of course, we're not just capturing screenshots for the fun of it or for the historical context, which it is valuable for that. You may want to have this vehicle looked at real quick. So you can add this particular snapshot to a new issue on Fleetio. That way, whoever works on this will be able to pull it up along with maybe other snapshots. They'll be able to look at the issue and the snapshots in context and resolve them. After adding the issue to a work order, all that is left is the hard work of actually fixing the problem. However, this is the first step where the vehicle itself actually needs to be near the shop. All the other steps before we got here, the vehicle could have still been out on the road. The driver may be merging into the highway, all while you were looking at what could have been an emergency in just a few days. Maybe the low oil pressure warning hadn't gone off yet in the car. Maybe it was just about to come on, but the driver wouldn't have said anything maybe until the next inspection. Whatever the scenario, having the data at your fingertips put you and your technicians in control. Avoiding breakdowns not only keeps people safer, but assets last longer, and it keeps your total cost of ownership down so you can get the most of that asset when you go to replace it. The sensor snapshot example we just looked at had to do with the oil pressure of an ICE vehicle. Sensors are just as applicable to electric vehicles. EVs, as we all know, are starting to become more prevalent. There's increased demand and interest as EVs propose solutions to multiple problems. There are incentives and regulations being introduced to electrify cities and states and nations all over the world. And we have seen incredible improvements from the earliest EVs not too long ago, really. On the flip side, electric vehicles have added a new layer of complexity to deal with. For fleets, this presents a lot of questions and a lot of challenges. These include differences in makes, in models, and range, and charging capabilities, different options for purchasing new and used vehicles, as well as considerations ranging from replacement and resale to logistics, weather handling, ROI, and of course, maintenance. EVs have brought with them a lot of change. For better or worse, it's safe to say that reducing the uncertainty around EVs will be a relevant problem to solve. One interesting thing and aspect of EVs is that they have increased the number of sensors in vehicles. One reason is that there is a need to monitor batteries and vehicle performance. The other is that EVs are increasingly connected and advanced, often showcasing the latest and greatest technology a manufacturer offers. We have seen advancements in EV technology coupled with improvements of what fleets can monitor. With the integration between Fleetio and Geotab, our joint customers can get valuable signals such as charging status, state of charge, battery health, and today I have the great pleasure of announcing that we've released a brand new Fleetio capability that leverages our strong integration with Geotab. Fleetio now generates charging entries automatically when the vehicle registers that it's being charged. And this ability to automate charging entries from EVs is completely charger agnostic. I'll now walk you through what this new launch is all about. Charging entries are now automatically generated in Fleetio. Whether a vehicle is being charged at a depot or at a team member's house, Fleetio will capture it. We will automatically record each charging event, which will be very helpful for tracking both charging costs and accurate TCO. This new solution is exclusive to Geotab customers and is the next step in Fleetio's path to support electric vehicles. If you want to learn more about this, we have a press release on Fleetio.com, and we have Fleetians, as we call ourselves, here at Geotab Connect who can help. There's a few here in the front if you want to chat with us. We're excited to see how those of you with EVs may put automated charging entries to good use and improve the accuracy of your total cost of ownership. Regardless of the type and mix of vehicles and assets that you may have, we here at Fleetio are grateful and thrilled to serve our customers so they can better plan and prepare for the future, helping them become more adaptable in the face of change. And we hope that our software will help alleviate business stressors from the many challenges that may come your way. Using sensor data, turning it into useful, actionable information can result in more informed decisions, which ultimately is always helpful, perhaps essential to thrive as a business, and helpful in overcoming and persevering through uncertain times especially. Just as sensors has enabled new opportunities for the world that we live in today, we are hopeful that it will continue to open up new doors for opportunities in the future. And we'll be there to help with fleet maintenance planning for that future, whatever it may bring. I really hope that this was valuable and helpful, maybe a little thought-provoking. Thank you all for your time, for spending some time here with us. Please do visit Fleetio at Geotab Connect at the marketplace. And like I mentioned, if you're interested in chatting with us or learning more about Fleetio and our software, we'll be around today, tomorrow, and we'd be glad to connect with you beyond Geotab Connect as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, and we do have some time for questions if anybody wants to ask a question now.
Any questions? I have one for you, Esteban. So, just a question popping up in my head right now. Is automated charging entries only for Geotab customers? I know you answered it earlier, but can you expound a bit on it a bit more?
Yes, this is exclusive for our joint Geotab and Fleetio customers to clarify. So if you're using Geotab and you're using Fleetio, then you get access to this automated charging entries feature.
Thank you. Any other questions?
The cost per kilowatt hour, does that come out of Geotab, or is that something that you guys are figuring out? How does that populate in the system?
You want to answer it? We have somebody here who would be much better to answer that than I can.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. I'm Wes Waymer, I'm the Integrations Product Manager here at Fleetio. So that actually is something that you can configure within Fleetio as an estimated price. So the vehicle itself is not communicating the price yet. Now, there's definitely a lot of work in the fleet space to have the kind of grid to vehicle connection where they can exchange that data, but that's not there today. So yeah, the price is something that you can set a kind of like your setting and say, on average, I'm paying this much per kilowatt. And then you can also refine that in Fleetio. There's a kind of a review process as well that we didn't cover. So.
Thank you, Wes. Any other questions?
When you're compiling information, I guess to tell you about using the historical data with the sensor information, are you also compiling information from the rest of your customers with similar vehicles, or is it just using the data that's in your particular fleet?
That's a great question. And I think this is one that most technology companies are trying to think about in all kinds of contexts. So in this context, it is very specific to your fleet. So there's no data that's coming in from anywhere else. However, from what we hear from our customers, there's a lot of interest in benchmarking, in suggestions about things like, hey, we have this vehicle, it's a certain vehicle from a certain manufacturer, can you help us understand or give us advice about certain things? Or maybe just point out facts, right, tips, and then we'll make the decisions. So there are a lot of use cases that may require looking at the aggregate and anonymizing that and not, using it in a way that it could be a problem from a privacy perspective, which is very important. But there are use cases, and this is not one of them. Great question. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.